John from Freedom Force Talk Squad. How are you doing? Today's episode is brought to us by those wonderful people at Muskoka Brewery, their craft lager, which I have not tried before. Let's find out. They're paying me so much money to give them a good review. Let's see if they get one. Yeah, it's very texture based. You know, it's got a sort of a creamy long finish. Very nice, very clean. Yeah, it's got a nice hops to barley circumference. So I know that's not the correct use of the word circumference, but I'm not really thinking about this. I want to tell you about what we're going to talk about today, and that is creepy Canadian globalism. This is something you should know about. You can dismiss everything I say. Just hear me out that this thing exists, right? Because this is on my mind a lot. Okay, so we have a government right now that has two things in mind. One, they want us, people who are born and bred in Canada, to breed less, and they want to increase immigration. I know there are some of you out there who would love to pretend that these things are not interrelated concepts, but it seems that they do often talk about replacing an aging population quite a bit, don't they? And meanwhile, they use CBC, which is, some of you don't think they're partisan, they're government hacks. They're saying that if you want to reduce your carbon footprint, what you got to do is have less kids. They also tell us to eat bugs. I'm only throwing that in because the CBC is awful. And so you have... And people don't really want to come to Canada that much. We're not like an awesome idea in the mind of somebody who grew up in warm weather, right? Like, we have to talk them into coming here, unless they're Indians are like come here. But like from a lot of the parts of the world, we actually have people like almost recruiting them, like in the Philippines and whatnot. Come on, ladies, we need nannies. And this is a really creepy, bad way of doing things. It's about just replacing our population with immigrants that don't really want to be here. We had to kind of like sucker them in, and there's no reason to be really doing it. And what makes this also gross, there's so many levels of gross here, it is that to talk about this in a serious way, you have all these people lined up ready to call you a racist, and that this is about racism. I mean, you want people in your house who want to be in your house, right? Like, not everybody that you want in your house, you don't want them in your house, but what you don't want is people who do not want to be in your house in your house. That makes perfect sense to everybody anywhere. And when we have people with no affection for this country being bribed with our money by our government to come here, it just gets my goat. And multiculturalism is just a matter of keeping everyone separate in their own little ghetto and unable to compare notes. It's like, hey, yeah, it sucks for me here. Yeah, it sucks for me here now more. And I don't think you're liking this either. It's like, yeah, there might be a better way of doing this. Multiculturalism sucks. It's at the backbone of creepy Canadian globalism, as is this whole large-scale population replacement program. Globalism's crashing everywhere. But what we have to do in order to stop this is simply live like people who embrace and love our country. That's all it is. You don't even have to dislike anybody, except, of course, Trudeau. But like everyone else is just here, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, you're in my country. How's it going? It's like, oh, I don't know. I just thought I was like in some kind of international airport. It's like, yeah, I get that. That's because how our country was sold to you in bad faith. I mean, if you want to stay and you have something to offer, and you do like this country, and you do want to be a Canadian, great. That's what we're after. But it's really creepy the way what I've just said is setting off all sorts of red flags in a lot of nice people's minds. It's kind of scary. It's a little scary to hear myself say it in a way, but it is for the greater good to be open and honest about these things, which is what the PPC stands for. and we got to get past the psychological prison that keeps us unable to talk about touchy subjects. Touchy subjects are just touchy subjects, and no amount of leftist media control should like change our culture that way, and they can't anyway. It's like sand, the desire for freedom. It just sneaks out between your fingers when you try and just squeeze it for all it's worth. It's like yogurt, baby. So the important thing to do is remember that this is all about making everyone happier. Like it's going to work out too, and people should be happy to know that so much of all this assumed control by the state and by leftism, it's not as firm as we thought. This isn't Stalinist Russia or anything like that. We've just basically got some creeps calling a lot of the shots, and that's all it is. We just got to get the creeps out, or just get them to a few weeks in normal people's society, they'll be fine. You get the idea. Walk parties coming up in the spring. It's going to be fun. We're working on it. Remember to subscribe, because we want to take on PewDiePie, because he's awesome and he deserves a real fight. T-Series is nothing. Subscribe to PewDiePie. All right, I'm letting you go. This is Josh and I signing out. Thanks for watching. You're freer than you think. Cheers.